Legend of Zelda. Links. Fucking hell. Cannot. Gotta save my life. What I should do is waste money on a tablet for this. But that's a stupid idea. So the world of Link's Awakening, I think, is... It's good. It's just big enough. It's big, but it's also, like, compact. There's a lot to do in it. For its size, I'd say. There's hidden stuff, there's little secrets, there's the trade quest, there's the dungeons. Plenty of heart pieces to find, because I didn't bother to find them all. The color dungeon is a neat little extra. And being able to pick what you want from it is also, I think, a big bonus. Yeah, like, there's plenty of ways to get around, and the fast travel's quite nice. And getting the Mambo's song is quite nice. Wherever you are, teleport. You're in town and want to get to the mountain? Teleport. Oh yeah, I'd imagine, because I'm trying to think what Game Boy games I've played. I think the original Pokemon is about it. No, I played Pokemon Crystal. Was it Gold? No, it was Gold. My sister had Gold. Yeah, I don't know the size of Game Boy games, because I'm not going to go back and play Game Boy games. No thanks, I'm good. But yeah, no, I think the world's quite solid. I don't think there's any problems with it. There might be a few moments where I didn't really know where to go, but I'm gonna blame that more on me being a moron than the world, necessarily. Yeah. Genuinely trying to think if there's anything wrong with it. I'm just gonna say 9.5 out of 10 in case I'm missing something. Max, I don't even remember what you're talking about. Story? I think I like it. I do wish I kind of played more to the sort of element of everything disappearing. Because you learn it around halfway, 2/3 through the game. And by then, you've kind of already done everything that would be more poignant with the knowledge that it's going to disappear. Oh yeah, no, that's not a problem of the game itself, though, Max. That's me being a moron. It's like how in Wind Waker there's 20 sliding tile puzzles that you can do. And I've done all 20 of them. But I can still spend 20 minutes in Resident Evil 4 on a simpler sliding tile puzzle. Because I'm an idiot. That doesn't make the puzzle bad. Yeah, and by comparison, that game exists, so... This game's world's pretty good. Yeah, just in case I'm missing something with that. Yeah, like, having the player interact with Marin more, and getting to sort of get more attached to the characters, I think could be nice, because then you have that knowledge of this is all going to go away, none of this is real. But yet all of those characters were still living their lives, still just going about their day-to-day. And you take it all from them. I think is really nice. Especially considering the previous stories in the series have been, you're Link, Ganon's evil, help Zelda, go. And Zelda 2 with, Zelda's asleep, go put rocks in holes, and then fight Dark Link. And that's it. And also some towns have names that come up later. Then A Link to the Past with, fucking Aghanim's an evil wizard, he took things over. Oh wait, it's Ganon. And so I think this game has a much better twist. And also I think it's got much better emotion to it. And just it has a unique character. It has the nightmares, it has Nightmare itself. It has Marin and Terran, it has, you know, the little claw game. And I don't think these characters show up anywhere else. I And I think that's great. Zelda needs to do more, just like, sort of, things like that I steal from the shop. That's a good point. Now that that thievery business has been finished. Yeah, I quite like the story. I think it is quite good. Just trying to think if there's anything that I don't much care for about it. I think it probably just suffers from the same problem that a lot of Zelda games, at least at this point, had, where it's just so much of the game is spent not interacting with the story. Like, the entire time you're in a dungeon, the most interaction you have is, hey, I got an instrument. Hey, I got a weapon to use later. That's it. You know, newer Zelda games usually have the dungeons tie it a bit more. Things happen more. But I don't know. Kind of just how a lot of these games go. But yeah, I quite like the story. I think it is quite solid. Characters, I quite like. They've all got a fair amount of personality. The ones that are actually unique. You got the owl, you got Marin, Terran, the witch. And then you've got all of the weird Nintendo characters that are in this for some reason. You got Wart, you got Mr. Right. You got Goombas. Bloopers. Piranha Plants were in there at some point, Potaboos. There's a bunch of just strange characters in this, and I quite like that. And I think it did fairly well in terms of bosses and whatnot. I will say, the one boss of Turtle Rock, where it's a giant fireball, and you need to shoot it with a fireball to open its weak spot, which you shoot with a fireball. Outside of it being the Zelda thing of, you got an item in the dungeon, use that against the boss. There's no fucking reason that should work. Zero reason. Best I can think of is, maybe if they found some way to put in, like, ice and fire with the magic rod, then that'd make more sense. You can shoot the boss with the ice, and then maybe fire, or just shoot it with just ice. EMX, go throw a firework into lava. Tell me what happens. Tell me if the lava loses. But yeah, so like, I don't know. I like the characters. I do think that there's not that many of them. And the ones that are there, like Marin is the best. And then the rest are very much side characters. I like the Windfish design, though. But, you know, there's good characters. There's not enough good characters, and they don't play that big part. Absolutely, Max. Marin is adorable. Gameplay-wise, I think this one definitely expands upon A Link to the Past very well, but that could just be up to the remake. The original could have played very similar to A Link to the Past. It may have even played more like the original Legend of Zelda, because I don't know if the Game Boy can handle a swinging sword. Maybe it could, who knows. But either way, the gameplay changes between A Link to the Past and this. Very nice. Being able to actually turn whilst spamming the sword. The boomerang being more of a late game item, and being very powerful. What else is there? Let me take a look. The magic powder is neat enough. The bow kind of feels like an outlier. It's not really used for much outside of Goma's and Nightmare. I am curious what happens if you run out of shots, though. Yeah, the ocarina is a neat touch. The seashells are cool. The color dungeon has a very solid upgrade, and it gives the player choice of whether they want to live longer or kill faster, and I think that's super cool. And those little side bits like the little mini games. Those are good. I quite like it. And having the seashells, I think, works really well for having sort of smaller scale rewards for exploration when contrasted with the heart pieces. Because for big things, or large discoveries, you know, going down the beaten path, going off the beaten path in the right spots, sure, a heart piece, why not? But just to have sort of smaller rewards scattered throughout the world, I think the seashells work really well. I do think that having the final reward be the chamber piece is a bit lame, but at the same time, the alternative is that the sword is the final thing, and that would suck. Because it means you wouldn't get it until, what, like the 6th or 7th dungeon? But that would suck even more. So, I think in fear of it being worse, I'm okay with how it is now. Yeah, I don't see a point in that dungeon minigame existing. Yeah. Just trying to... I think what it is Mario Maker was a huge success, but Nintendo may not have believed in a Zelda Maker working out all that well, or just being too complicated to make for a 3D one. So instead, they just went, fuck it, put in a little dungeon creator. Let people have that, and then that's it. Just good enough. Can we share them with our friends? No. So, I do think that Link's Awakening definitely, at least with the remake, plays a hell of a lot better than A Link to the Past, and I enjoyed it a lot more. And outside of weird jank with the final boss, I can't really think of anything that was too big a deal. Final boss jank and Turtle Rock boss jank. Outside of that, maybe the holes kind of sucking you in, but not fully, so you can kind of walk out of them. That's strange, but I also used it a bunch, so who am I to complain? All in all, I think 8.5 out of 10. It's good. I had fun. I liked it. Game with a good amount of personality, and I think the art style definitely helped out. Music, I mean, it's modern Zelda music. It's gonna have the one song, the fucking main Zelda theme. And then it's gonna have little reorchestrations of other things. Well, congrats, Cal, on being free. Yeah, music's good. I don't know, it's Zelda music. Like, I'm listening to it now, and it's Zelda music. It's usually just by default good. That's because Nintendo usually knows what they're doing with music. Even if their games can be a bit strange and handholdy at times. Music's usually good. And I'm also not that much of a music person, so I'm just gonna 8 out of 10. It's good. Length, I think this is a very solid length, because I've been going for 7 hours, and then before that it was... How long did I play this for? Yeah, but Cow, you don't like Zelda games. Where is... Okay, yeah, so it took me around 11 hours. That's pretty solid. For the bit of extra stuff I did, all in all, could probably last like 12 to 15. I'd say that was good. I liked it. I do wonder if maybe the 9 dungeons is a bit much, but... Actually, no, 10 dungeons. That's that weird thing of just like... Ocarina of Time probably lasts longer, but I think it's better paced. But I can also beat Ocarina of Time in like 5 hours or something. I don't know, I think Zelda games usually run just as long as they need to. Especially because you can always just skip the extra shit, and you usually won't be too fucked over. Let's say it's good. It's a good length. Very, very well-paced, well-timed. I do think not knowing where to go can kind of fuck you over in this one. Especially because there isn't as much direction. And a lot of times the walkthrough I was looking at was just like, yeah, and then Link just went here. Like, oh, well, how do I figure that out? Who knows? Link just went there, and then did the thing, and then went to the next place and did the thing. It's like, yeah, but I'd like to know how. But I also don't want to just spend time exploring, because then it's wasting time. So I think it's a very solid length. Jank. It's not a matter of navigation. It's a matter of, I don't know what the next dungeon is. And you have, what, 90% of the map filled out by the 4th dungeon? So there's not exactly that many new places to explore. Because at best you can go, oh man, I got the hookshot. Let me go explore the hookshot places. But sometimes it's not necessarily a hookshot place that is the way to go. Because the face shrine... I'm trying to think if that was even accessed. No, that was accessed by a small alleyway that I missed the first time. And then you had to go to a small island that I think you can access with the flippers. Yeah, in order to keep going. I don't know what that means, Kat. 300 degrees T. Yeah, jank. I think this version has some jank, and it's hard to tell what's the jank of this version and what's it working properly. Like the Dodongo snakes just kind of pushing a bomb to the side but then still sucking it in. Ah. Okay. But yeah, like the Dodongo snakes are a bit weird. Some of the hitboxes on things are a bit weird. Ganon's hitbox, when you fight the Nightmare in Ganon's form. Fucking weird. Very strange. So, like, I don't know. 5 out of 10 jank. There's jank there. It's kind of... doesn't really get in the way too much. And when it does get in the way, there's ways around. You can avoid it. But it's noticeable. It's present. And DLC, Nintendo out of 10. I'm trying to think of what Zelda games have DLC. Do any? I mean, Breath of the Wild does. That's like modern Nintendo. No. GameCube. Wait, no. Game Boy? Yeah. No. GameCube. Game Boy Advance? Yeah. No. Actually, does Fan? I don't know either of those two games, so I can't say. Skyward Sword. Don't think so. Link Between Worlds. Don't think so. Yeah, like Breath of the Wild and maybe Age of Calamity. Until then, Nintendo out of 10. And all in all, I definitely think this is a better game than A Link to the Past. It's got more character to it. More interesting. Plays better. But again, that could be the remake. Who knows? But, all in all, definitely enjoyed it quite a bit. I'm gonna hope that that score is higher than what I gave A Link to the Past. Because I don't remember. I should really write these down. But I also don't really give a shit about the scores making sense to one another. I don't know. I liked it. That's the most useful thing you'll get out of me.